Hi guys, welcome to this very special video all about the expose of a trick that appeared recently on Penn Teller Fool Us. The magician in hand that we're talking about today is Nestor Hato. Now he, in my eyes, is one of the great card manipulators. A lot of people talk about Leonard Green. I always kind of feel he's a little bit kind of sloppy, does a great job, but Nestor is very smooth and highly polished in card manipulation. And he performed a trick on Penn Teller Fool Us recently that really astounded the audience. And so what we're going to do here is to reveal how the trick was done. If you haven't seen the video, there'll be a link below, and also if you just search out Penn Teller Fool Us Nestor, you'll come across this great performance. So without further ado, let's take a look at the trick that Nestor performed. He first of all got Penn Teller to come up on the stage and help him. He then removed the cards from the box, and he then did some fancy flourish that introduced the 4 kings. Now I can't do that as well as him, so I've cheated and I've just got the 4 kings on the bottom. Okay, he did a fancy flourish, delivered the 4 kings. The rest of the pack is just regular, as you can see. But what was good about the opening is that he took the 4 cards and he proved that they were just regular, and he did them one at a time to prove there was absolutely no cheating whatsoever. He then turned them over, and when he dealt off singly the 4 kings, they turned into the 4 aces. Now, of course, he then proved that nothing untoward was going on by showing a few of the other cards on the top. And I can't remember if he showed the ones at the bottom, but they are just a regular deck anyway. So that was the first part of the routine of getting a transposition of 4 kings into 4 aces. He then went on to the second part of the performance, where he then proceeded to shuffle the cards, and then he turned to Teller and asked him to point to a couple of cards. He asked him to put his finger out. Then he said, I'm going to show you the cards, and as I go through, just point to any card. And this was a free choice. Some people on the internet are saying that it was a false, but actually these were genuine choices. So Teller went through and pointed to just 4 random cards, as so. So there's the 4 cards. Again, the cards were stripped out and dealt singly. They're not double-sided or rough and smooth. He turned them over, and the 4 choices just happened to be the 4 aces again. Now we did the same routine with Penn, but I'm not going to do that. But he got Penn to now point to 4 cards, picked them out, and they turned out to be the 4 aces. As a finale, what he did, he took the cards, give him a shuffle and cut. He then got all 3 presenters involved, because he got Teller to say stop and reveal a card. He then got Teller to do another one. Then he turned to Penn, got him to say stop, and then finally he got Alison to say stop on any card. They picked out 4 random cards. He stripped those out, and this is the strong point on the conclusion of the effect. He showed the 4 cards singly, one at a time, nice and neat, turned them over as clean and smoothly as possible, and then when he dealt the cards out, they turned out to be the 4 aces. So here is the expose on how we believe the trick worked. Now don't forget, this is my opinion, well, not just mine, but some of my magician friends as well, and we kind of collaborated on this. We watched the trick a few times and we all sat down and talked about it, and we came up with how we think it was done, mainly because there's a couple of revelations in the actual footage, and I'll talk about that in a moment. There was a trick many years ago, well, a number of tricks that were based on the same principle of being able to shoot cards out of a pack and load them into your hand or into another set of cards. Now this particular trick here I've got is one that I bought back in, must be late 70s, early 80s. It was called Jumping Jack. And the idea was that cards would magically jump out. So let me just show you so you can see exactly what happens. Watch this, boom. Can you see it just comes out? Let me do that again, boom, it comes out. That was the trick. Now this is quite old, this one. It actually uses cards called Piatnik cards, which were big for magicians back in the 70s and 80s. I don't think they make these anymore, but this was my original, as you can see. So how did it do this? Well, if you have a look, it's got, I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but it's actually got an elastic in between two cards. Now, I believe that that's how Nestor performed his trick. So let's take a look at what's required. It is just a regular deck of cards, but there is a gimmick. And if we just have a look at the gimmick that comes with so many other tricks over the years, this is what I believe it is. As you can see, this has got some elastic between. Very simple to make, either stick one end here, one end here. And the idea is that when you put cards in between and hold it, when you release the pressure, they come out like that. And that's the basis of the trick. Now you know that. If you watch the video back and watch what happens on Penn Teller, you'll hopefully see this happen. If you play the video in slow motion of Penn Teller, you'll actually see on a couple of occasions where you see the cards come out. And I think on the last one, you'll see the ace appear momentarily before he flips them over. But have a look at those. But let's just go through. So this is it. You've seen the video performance I've done, so you can put together your own one. But the way that this starts off is that we load in between here 4 aces and 2 regular cards, and these go reversed, and I push those in. Now those can go in here. You can put a few cards on top, preferably not those ones because they're the kings, but put a couple of cards on top. So basically the routine was that here I've got 6 cards reversed at the start. As I remove them from the pack, if you keep them pretty taut, just a bit of pressure, keep your fingers around them, then you can do some fancy move to get the kings out. Then all I did was to place this on here, here, here and here, and then before I grab these to pull them out, I'm going to release the pressure of these. Okay, let me just do that behind. So these are here, pull the pressure, pull the cards out. Now what I've got are not only the 4 kings, but the 6 other cards as well. But remember, in real time, that turns over, you've done the switch. These are the 4 aces that you can show, but you can also display a couple of other cards because they look regular at that point. When you go to put these back, the break happens naturally because of the cord in there, and you can push the aces in as per normal. You can do a shuffle because the lower part is as per normal. You don't have to do anything special about that. Remember to keep the pressure on because otherwise they'll come out. Just keep a firm pressure on. It's not difficult. Once you've done this a couple of times, you just get used to how to handle the cards. As you can see, Nestor does a very good job of this. Now, when you get someone to choose the cards, you can go through. Remember, between the gimmick are the 4 aces. I'm keeping a little bit of thumb pressure on here as I go through. You can handle them quite freely. 4 cards are chosen in whichever manner you want. These are not forced. There they are. You square the cards up, and what you're going to do is, as you go to pull these out, so pull them round, you're going to release the pressure to release these. Okay, let me just do that again. You release the pressure, take them out and put them on top. It happens so quick that blink and you'll miss it. But that's now loaded on. The 4 cards are now the aces. Now on the Nestor performance, you'll notice plenty of misdirection. He's talking and looking at Penn. On the final routine, is he puts these cards in reverse. You actually see it, because if you look closely at the video, this hand you see a glimpse of the face down pack, yet these are face up. He drops them in while he's actually talking to the audience and looking at Penn. He's now set it for the final, where you dribble cards, find 4 cards. I'll just do this quickly. There they are. You pull these out as normal to show that they are perfect, and then you then put these on top just as you did on the first performance. Release. I've released them. You pull them out. There they are there. Pull them out and you've done the perfect switch.